This is a moment for your creative life.
Welcome to Creative Lifestyle with tips for a creative life that suits you. And today's topic is how planned your creativity should be in your life. Because as a creative person, planning is probably not your strongest suit. We all have busy lives. We have work, we have friends, family, maybe you have kids, a partner who's also busy, working out, cooking. That's quite a lot. And especially for a creative person, that can already be a handful. While you still have that desire to create your creative product. And in our case, we're talking about writing a book right now, but it could also be writing a script or something totally different. A script for a play or a video. Maybe you want to make a plan for a sculpture, a piece of art. In any case, your creative moment. So, when is the best time to playing at? Well, of course, that's different for everyone. That immediately makes it hard to see where in your own life there might be a window for that moment. If it's about writing a book, then you're in luck. You can actually make your plan while doing the dishes, while taking the dog for a walk, or while biking to school. So you can organize your first thoughts that way. But yeah, then comes the moment when you really have to sit down to make something to create. Because a creative person still wants their creative ideas to actually be realized. So how do you do that? Well, there are different ways to go about it. People often think of writing days or a writing week, like this week I'm going to write my whole book. Actually, that might not even be so practical because when you're writing a book at the beginning, you really have to think, what does this character look like? As you start filling your blank page with information, especially in the beginning, you run into all sorts of questions like, oh, what job does my character have? Or what kind of home situation do they have? Or what kind of clothes do they like? Or what music? And at that stage, writing actually goes a bit slower. At least that's how it is for me. And often that's the case for others too. You're still building everything up. What is it going to look like? So, canceling everything for a whole day just to write isn't necessarily a good idea at that point. What you can also do is say every day off. Maybe Saturday is your day off, or Sunday, or Monday, or Wednesday afternoon. If I have a free afternoon or an evening, then I take 1 hour to start and write my story. An hour isn't that much. So at first, you might spend the first 20 minutes thinking, I actually don't know, and maybe I should just quit. But an hour is just fine to stick with it and say, no, this is the hour I wanted to spend writing. And maybe it's only in the last 15 minutes that you really get to it, to actually writing down the first info, the first parts. I've definitely experienced that myself. I sometimes set aside 3 hours in the morning to write a new chapter, and I end up spending 2.5 hours just looking around, only to write an entire chapter in one go during the last half hour. So that's possible. And especially in the beginning, an hour is quite a lot, right? Sitting for an hour thinking, I'm going to do something for a whole hour, that's a lot, of course. The challenge is don't let yourself get discouraged. Don't let yourself get distracted if after 3 minutes you think, see, I have one sentence and now I actually don't know what to write anymore. Don't pick up your phone then. Just stay put and think, what could I write? I often turn off my internet. I also often turn off my email so I don't see when a new message comes in. Except, of course, if I really need to look up information for a character, then I obviously need the internet on. But in that first hour, you can actually get a lot done. And at the very least, a lot of questions will come up like, oh, I still need to find this out, or I still need to figure this out. And with that, you can get through the rest of the day or the rest of the evening or even the rest of the week. And then you start thinking, how am I going to spend my next hour answering those questions? And that way, step by step, you can slowly start moving forward to actually get those first lines of your creative project done. So that was basically what I wanted to say today. And well, take good care of yourself and your creativity.